Okay, TW Biggins in Westfield, New York. This place is like going into your grandma's living room. Let's go check out what they have. This part of the store was kind of the wall where they had all the standards. Your Knob Creeks, your Maker's Mark, your Woodford, Jim Beam, Evan Williams, Wild Turkey. Some of the, standards you would find probably in any liquor store. I apologize for the stickers. They're kind of hard to see. Small town, they still have paper stickers on all the bottles. But again, a really nice kind of selection of your standards. Everything you'd really want if you were looking for this kind of bottle. They did have Old Grandad over here. None of the 114, although I will tell you, I am starting to find more of the 114 around. I feel like maybe the scarcity of that is starting to wane a little bit because we've got 4 or 5 stores right around our area, and I would say 3 of them have it on hand at all times. And decently priced, although there is one store near us that's selling it for $60, which is ridiculous. Over here in the middle, they had like kind of an island in the middle of the store, and they had a much nicer selection, getting away from your Beams and your Evan Williams. They did kind of mix in the whiskey. There's some gin on this little island here. The Irish is there. So it's kind of mixed in, but most, I would say, around the top and then around on the other side is pretty much all bourbon. There's your Russell's Reserve single barrels. They had a few of them there. That's always a nice buy. I just tried that Great Jones. That's a New York State distillery, and just tried that bourbon at a local establishment and thought it was decent. Rare Stash, I don't know anything about it. If you do, let me know. I was kind of interested. I kind of like the bottle, but I'm not gonna buy a bourbon just because of the bottle. I'd like to know a little more about it before then. Redemption, I believe this is MGP. I see it all over the place. I've never pulled the trigger. So, again, that's another one. Let me know if you know anything about it. Some nice bottles over here that Kentucky Owl confiscated. I do like the Legion. I think it's a cool bottle. It's tasty. I've heard a lot of people recommend that Angel's Envy finished rye. Have not pulled the trigger because it's a little pricey for an unknown, and I do not like. I've had cask strength Angel's Envy, and I've had regular, and I'm just not a big fan. But they said the finished rye is where it's at. So if you agree, let us know in the comments. Again, a lot of standard stuff, but then some nice picks here and there, like the Redwood Empire cask strength. I am starting to see that a little more often, particularly the Pipe Dream. I don't see the cask strength in the other one a whole lot, but the Pipe Dream I see in a lot of places. I was interested in that Heaven's Door Ascension. We did like Heaven's Door. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and try it out. Again, that's another one I probably would like to try first before I bought that bottle. But again, this place just had a really nice kind of selection, a little bit for everybody. And some finished, that rum cask finish, that Tommy Rotter, that's one up in Buffalo. That's a Buffalo distillery. They're more known, I think, for their gin and vodka, but they do have a whiskey, a bourbon out. Clyde Mays is one that I'm still like, I see it everywhere and I'm like kind of itching to pull the trigger, but I just never do for some reason. So if you're a Clyde Mays fan, tell me why we should maybe try that one on our channel. Basil Hayden's, Four Roses, again, lots of standard stuff mixed in, but then here and there some nice picks like this Old Elk. I know it's just standard Old Elk, but I love that Elk Head decanter. I was real tempted to buy that. There's the Wheat and Rye, which is a spectacular bottle. I really, really like the Old Elk Wheat and Rye. They had some Milam and Green up around the corner here and a couple of Bowmans. They did not have John J. Bowman, but they did have Isaac and Bowman Brothers. And then at the end, right above the register, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. Okay, I'm in the car because as you can see, we're getting hit with rain right now. We're at Maine Wine and Spirits in Dunkirk. It's my buddy Bryan's place, and they have a really nice bourbon selection. There's the store there. So let's go on in and check out and see what they have. Okay, so I will fully admit that this is a shop in town that I have overlooked quite a bit. And I was super, super happy when I walked in because he has bourbon all over the place. There's, this is kind of next to the register. He's got a little rack with different bourbon on it. And you can tell Brian is getting in a ton of bourbon and it's just filling up his shelves now. You can see here's kind of where the standards are: your Elijah Craig, your Woodford, um, your Makers. So he has all those standards you would want, all those shelfers, and then here and there just some really cool bottles. That Horse and Jockey is a Taconic Distilling. I think it was like $85. I have never had it, but it's interesting. The Old Granddad, again, the 114, I don't think it's as scarce as it once was. This is the third shop in town that has it, and he's got it priced at 40. And really anywhere around us, that's kind of where it's at. I have one store that's got it at 30, one at 35. This one's got it at 40. And then there's another store in town that has it at 60, like I said before, which is definite a pass. You would never want to pay $60 for Old Granddad 114. Um, I think they're trying to gouge on something that maybe was hard to find, but maybe isn't as much anymore. Little rack here. He's got the Knob Creek Rye back there. That looked like a liter. That was a bigger bottle, so that was kind of cool. He's got Knob Creek 12, which I know a lot of people say um, they aren't finding it around them. It's in every store, even in this little town. Everybody has Knob Creek 12 here. That Duke, I've never had before. If anybody knows anything about the Duke bourbon there, throw it down in the comments because I'd like to know if that one is worth checking out. You got some High West. He's even got the Manhattan, the barreled Manhattans, Redwood Empire. You know how we feel about Redwood Empire. We love it. And again, that's nice to find anywhere. It's really becoming very easy to find around here. Even the cask strengths are. Um, Buffalo Trace. So the Buffalo Trace he's got marked at $59.99. I will tell you, I know that's a lot. However, Bryan's place is the only place in town that just has Buffalo Trace on the shelf. Everywhere else, it's either like we have one store that's got it on a shelf behind the counter, and they're gonna raffle it, and nobody else has it. So he's got it sitting there. If you want Buffalo Trace, he's the guy to see. Montgomery County, that wood hat. I would like to know about that. If anybody here has had that, let me know. Because that was one of the more intriguing bottles in the store. He's got the Buffalo Distilling stuff there, and then into some Irish and Scotch, a few more bourbons down here. The Very Old Barton. He had a huge bottle of Very Old Barton coming up here for $50, and that is the 100 proof. Another store has that in their raffle that's taking place next week. Let me know if that's a good buy at $50 for that big boy. I think it was 175. I've heard people who say it's a good budget bourbon. But let me know on that price if that's worth it, because if it is, I'll go back and grab it because he had a few on the shelf. Right up front here, he had another rack full of bottles, Michter's, Four Roses. There's some Irish mixed in there, as you can see. But I think Bryan is really stepping up his bourbon game at Maine Wine and Spirits. And hopefully this becomes a place where, I'll go on the regular and to find a decent bottle. This is in the front window. He's got a lot of gift sets out there, and then some other bottles that weren't on the shelf mixed in. There's those Cooperstown, those decanters, the baseball and the football. I've never tried the whiskey. I do have a baseball decanter, but it did not come with that whiskey in it. It was empty. So I have not tried it, but I have not heard great things. But overall, I would say it's really nice to have another store like this that carries a nice bourbon selection. It's obviously he's an owner who appreciates bourbon and is working on really building that bourbon collection in the store. So another great stop down here in Chautauqua County. So there you have it, guys. A couple more shops here in Western New York. Did grab a couple of bottles at these stores. At TJ Biggins, I ended up getting Eagle Rare. This is something you don't find very often here. They happen to have a few stocked away for Christmas, and so they offered me one. It was $54.99, I think. Eagle Rare is one of the few Buffalo Trace I don't mind picking up, and even if it's a little more expensive than retail, I was happy to grab this because we don't see them very often here, and I do think this is a good bottle. Next, I got at Maine Wine and Liquors, I got the 2XO American Oak. They did have the Tribute Blend, but I'm not real sure about that one yet. We did a review of the Phoenix and the Innkeepers and kind of we're 50-50 on it. We liked the Phoenix, didn't like the Innkeeper. So I'm going to hold off on the Tribute until we can maybe get a sample and try it out. But I was interested in this one, the American Oak, $48.99. So we'll give it a try and do a video on it coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. More hunting videos coming. Lauren's going to do some around Pennsylvania and show you kind of the state liquor stores in Pennsylvania and what their selection is like. And I'll hit a few more up around Buffalo, maybe some smaller shops so you can kind of see the selection there. Thanks for watching, guys, and cheers.